Hi, welcome to another video on my walking robot Mirft2 based on the fischertechnik TXT controller. Last time I tested one of the sensors using a counter, pulse counter here, and I changed between the official firmware and the community firmware, and the results were a little bit mixed. It did work and it didn't work. What also happened at the very beginning was that upon start the firmware was not really starting up as I expected, so let me start with that. And right now it already shows that something is happening, so for now it looks promising. In the community edition, as you can see. So compared to the last episode, this looks quite promising. Then let's turn it a bit. I checked for these two wires, and this is going to this sensor. So let's see how this works. And first I will have to log in on the laptop, via the laptop onto the controller. I have connection anyway via SSH, so now comes for the password. That works, that's a good sign. And now I want a second terminal, and I can show you how that looks for now. It looks a bit faint, but this is one terminal and this is the other. You can't see a lot of it because there's nothing to see yet. Anyway, logging in again for the second terminal. That's alright. So, sorry, I had to do it off screen. And now I have to lift it again to see what the results are, and let's hope it does work. So I have to touch the sensor in order to get the result. Starting, touching, and to my surprise, I did not expect this to happen. It says motors initialized, I'm happy with that. But also counters 2 and 3, which are these two, show completely 0. And this one, these two start and end with 0, and this one starts with 0 and ends with 2. And since the counter of the legs of the motors start and end with 0, I have to look for some wiring, and these look fine. Here seems nothing wrong and here seems nothing wrong. So how can it be that the wires here show absolutely not good. Yeah, I have to look at the lag as well, but that comes later. This is quite surprising. Oops. Let me not ruin settings and hardware. Anyway, this is in the end not a good start. So let me do it again. Starting and pressing the sensor. As you can see, I have pressed it and now everything works, but in the other way. And that is surprising as well. Now the two motors show a very nice result, and this counter for the sensor shows begin and end 0. Do I get this? Not really. Okay, third test. And once again pressing the sensor. Motors work. Show nice result from 0 to, well, counting up for a number of ticks, but once again here 0 and 0. And then I mean begin and end, while these motors have begin 0 but end with a nice number. Okay, then let's see for this one, because this is still the sensor on the right hand side sensor. So let's check that one. Alright, pressing it. Gives nothing. That's an oops. Once again pressing it, starting it. Absolutely nothing. I don't like that at all. So let me look in the code. What did I change? Well, both sensors are still quite alright actually. They are not commented out, so that still has to be fine. So one more try. Holding the sensor, as you can see. It doesn't detect this sensor. It doesn't show it. But I have no clue why. Alright, let me do with both. Pressing both sensors now. I don't like these results. Pressing them both again. No beeps. No sensor here. This sensor is not being shown. And this is being absolutely 0. And it should be, well, this is sensor 2, of course, then sensor 1 should be there, but it should say front sensor 2 detect, and that it does not do. But why? So many tests, unexpected outcome. Let's see for some code. I think that's a good idea. So now taking a look at the code, right here counter 2 and 3 are actually the motors, and here they end. Then this is counter 1. So actually it doesn't matter what it comes from, where it comes from, but this is counter 1, and this happens to be front sensor 1. So this one is actually, well, to be precise, here I say sensor front 1 is digital input 1. No longer the case. That is now here from, it is now connected here. However, since this is absolutely no value, it could say, it will say nothing because it will never be anything as long as this is not connected, period. I can do, and that is quite interesting thought actually, to say if it is 0, say no front sensor. That is actually a very good idea. So I say else if sensor front 1 state is 0, print front sensor 1 well, what can I do? Oops. I will say no front sensor. I kind of like that idea. So this is one. Then with this, this one is still there. But it, as you can see here in the code, this is a system update I did previously. So here you see no front sensor, and all the way down you only see counter begin, counter end, but no front sensor at all. And that is not good, because this one, front sensor 2, is definitely connected. I showed you on camera. So also here, else if sensor front 2 state is equal to 0, print no front. Oh wait, I made a slight mistake here. I have to say front sensor 1. So here I will say this, and here I will add 1. So now I can see if it is actually doing something. At least that's the idea. Let's save the code. As you can see here, colon and W for write. So this is one thing. And remember, this is to verify that count sensor, that counter 1 or 0 is functioning or not. But as you can see here, and let's go back, here you can see that the motors didn't do anything, and the counter 1, which is again the first sensor, front sensor, ends in 2, and then suddenly these start to work and this one ends in 0, while they have nothing to do with each other. So that's odd. Okay, let's test. Now I will continue with screen output. I am pressing enter and holding both front keys, and this is remarkable, very remarkable. Well, 1 is remarkable, front sensor 1, but front sensor 2 doesn't make sense. It detects 0, totally 0. So why is that? It is an uninterrupted wire from the front sensor to the input on the interface, and they both look like solid connected. I don't like this. Let's do it again. And I'm holding both sensors again. Now look at that difference. No front sensor 1, logically. Front sensor 2 is there. And I don't do anything different. How about that? On the other side, counter 0, if you follow the cursor, counter 0 is starts with 0 and ends with 0. So I start to kind of accept that, though not wholeheartedly. Anyway, let's try again. Holding both front sensors, see what happens this time. You got to be kidding me. Sound is coming back. Is that a coincidence? Well, I love that it is back, because that means that it is working. But also the front sensor is there. Really? Let's do it again. Holding the both sensors again. What's going on? It takes a long time for it to start. There it goes. No sound. Front sensors are now alright. But why does the sound disappear? Come on. And the stupid thing is, I can't do anything about it. And I haven't heard back from the developer yet. So, alright. Well, you see what's going on. Front sensors are detected well this time, the last 2 times. This one is disconnected and this one is there. So what I want to do now is relocating this one to value 1. So adding counter 1. In that way I will test both counters, see what happens. And this one will then of course go to no front sensor text. So I touched the display with the controller, which was not the idea. Careful with the wire. And then one. I do it off camera now. But right now the wires are all here. Now I only have to say copy and paste, and this is going to be 1 and so is this. Now I have to go to the end, and boy, what is it's slow. It is very slow. Alright. One and 0. Is this alright? Yes. So now these two lines are the motors and these two lines are the front sensors. And these for now don't do anything anymore except registering that there's no front sensor. At least that's what is supposed to do. Save the code and let's check again. Alright, time for quite a new test again. Now with both front sensors on the counters. So let's start and hold them both, see what happens. Unfortunately, nothing. No sound, no detection at all. Okay, now what if I kind of push and release? Wow, both 1, because I hold and release continuously. Let's see how this works out. One. I do it now faster. And even faster. And faster yet. So apparently they are not entirely broken. Otherwise they would not be doing anything. Look at this. 1 and 2 and now 2 and 1. It means it does work. No use to actually send it in for repair, because with this result they will see, hey, it works. But the question is, or my question is, why does it go this way? This output is as expected. Because there is nothing connected to digital 1 and 2. This is very different. What I also don't like is that I do not get this anymore, because this happened, if you look back, only once. Not here, not here. So that's still not alright. And in the with the other one, with the other firmware, it wasn't happening either. Well, I think once or twice, but that's all. So I don't get it. Not really. Okay, let's do one more test. And I'm just holding, pressing and releasing it very fast now. And now it says 3. So two and 3. Only 2. Well, I think I've made my point so far that the counters 1 and 2 are not entirely broken, because in that case they would have stayed 0. But why don't they work on the motors? That is a very good question. Because that is the prime reason the motors are now on 2 and 3. Alright. What more can I do? I can put them back on the other one. Building a back sensor. That one will go on I1 or whichever of the 8 digital inputs. Yeah, that's nice for next time. See how that will work. First, I will show you once again on camera. Alright, that was quite an interesting test. Holding and releasing the front sensors very fast, which also raises the question, how will this work on the official firmware? Because now I'm on the community firmware, and I will leave that for next time. So I'm very curious about those results. I do have the tablet because I need to do that while running Android on my tablet. For some reason I still can't connect with the laptop to the official firmware. But anyway, time for a last check. Holding it, let me turn the camera a little bit, starting and pressing and releasing very fast. It says 0 and 1, so 1 and 2. 0 and 2, so the results are not even consistent. Two and 2. What can I do? Well, this is one thing. inconsistent results with this. One thing that is easy to do is of course adding that the other sensor, because this is already programmed and I only have to attach it. So except that it won't be front sensor but back sensor, and here I already have a sensor, so what I have to do is see that it is connected the same way. That is quite important, of course. So this is one, and then I have to connect it here and here. Oops. Let me put it like this. Run and see. So I have to press it and it says no front sensor. Oh, very nice indeed. It still says no front sensor. So something isn't alright. Well, that's remarkable. This one gives no output. No output at all. Well, it doesn't register it. And this is one, so front sensor one, but okay. That leaves a lot for testing. This new sensor I just put on the front sensors, which are now connected here. What more can one test? For now, thank you for watching. Interesting results, unexpected results. And if you like this video and my other videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you don't want to do that for some reason, you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. You can find both accounts via my website, which is shown in front of at the start of the video and under this video, provided you are watching on YouTube. And this is certainly going to be continued. Bye bye.